Okay, so you can see here I've base coated up this miniature. What I've just done is given a zenithal highlight. I've gone very heavy on the white because then when I sprayed Baal Red Contrast paint on top of it, it gives you this super saturated finish. And you can see just how bright that is. Now, this Baal Red stuff is absolutely great. You don't have to use it from an airbrush like I did. You can just base paint your mini white and then just use the contrast paint over it normally. But I just thought I'd do it at the airbrush this way because it's a nice and smooth base to start from. Lots of lovely bright colours, and we're going to try and retain those colours as we paint them. I take some Flesh Tearers Red Contrast paint. I'm just going to thin it down a little just with some water. Just decided to get some water out of my palette so I can do some quick blends. If you want to find more about blending contrast paints, you can watch my recent blending video. Now we see the light is coming from the right hand side because of where I put my desk light, and I'm going to use that as a guide for where to shade. I'm going to hit the opposite side so you can see I'm bringing in that Flesh Tearers Red here. I'm just trying to pick out all the areas of shadow. Occasionally I just want to soften that boundary, so I just wash off my brush, get it slightly moist and drag it out. The trick is going to be to just keep on dancing around and building up all these shadows. We've already got some of our brightest, most saturated tones in, so it's just going to be bring down the areas where it's dark. And you can see I pick in between all these little plates, and I'm just trying to get every single surface to have some kind of convincing light transition on it. Obviously you don't need to do a full-on blend on all the tiny little panels, but just knowing some rough idea of the light level that they'll be receiving will be helpful. I get some Croxigore scale next, and I'm just going to carry on with that. And this one is a lot darker than the Flesh Tearers Red, so I focus it right in those recesses and then I drag it out with a moist brush. And this also involves pin washing all those tiny little recesses as well. If you make any mistakes, just get that water on it and smooth it back out. So another important thing to do here is we're going to pick out all the bits that aren't going to be red, and we're just going to cover them in this Croxigore scale. Because it's a green over red and they're opposites, it'll look fairly much black with just like a slight bit of tonal interest to it in the kind of greeny blue colour you get through it. You can see here like all the legs of the horse, all the cloth, everything like that I'm just going to cover. Okay, so now we've got that, that's all of our shading done, or at least enough to show you an example. I'm going to tidy up some of that top coat of red with some Antares red. Now I'm just going to come in, and anywhere where I've got little watermarks or anything on that beautiful Baal red, I'm just going to cover it with this. Now this is a slightly different colour, so we'll deal with that in a minute. But right now it's just important to make sure you've got some lovely flat surfaces. And you can see here I just glaze back in that Baal red on top of it to get the same vibrant red that we had originally. This is why you don't need to worry too much about mistakes, because there's always ways to fix them afterwards. take a 50-50 mix of the Antares Red with some Sunny Skin Tone from Vallejo, and I'm just going to get some nice sharp edge highlights running along all of those prominent panels. You can see here I've gone a little too thick with this line, but that's okay because I'll come back in with some glazes and just smooth that out a bit later. I'm just going to hit the very edges on the corners with just some pure Sunny Skin Tone. I'm going to go back to this now and finish up a model and just getting all those glazes and tidy up everything that I didn't have a chance to do on camera, and I'll show you a model that's finished.